Hi everybody, this is Jonathan Tran,
Good morning, this is Frank.
and this is Paramic, not the Paramic Hour, but this is Paramic Financial in 5 to 10 minutes. And today we're going to talk about life insurance with no medical.
Wow, that's a big topic.
Yeah, Frank's favorite topic at the
Yes.
moment. Usually healthcare is his favorite topic, but right now he has like a new flavor that he's been eating and he's really loving it. And so life insurance with no medical. Traditionally, life insurance, you always have to take a medical. You have to take maybe, they're going to check your reports. They do blood tests, urine tests, all these tests just to make sure that you qualify. But a lot of times, you don't need to go through all that process, right? If you just simply need something simple for your life insurance, there's something out there called final expense, or in other words, funeral expense life insurance.
Yes.
And one of the number one reasons why people buy life insurance is for death benefit for funeral expense, to cover your funeral expenses. And so this type of life insurance is very, very simple, and it's be able to give you a quick and easy approval, right, Frank?
Correct.
Maybe you can share with the audience a little bit more about like what this final expense is all about,
Okay.
and then we can dive deeper into it.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Jonathan. So like Jonathan said, final expense is a form of life insurance, and it serves the purpose of having the death benefit protection. But unlike other life insurance, like the term or other products out there where you have to undergo a medical test, and sometimes even after that you're gonna have to wait for the medical records to be released by your doctors, and that could take up months. So and then there are some clients that I know of that they told me, hey, I want to buy life insurance, but I want something simple because I don't want to go through all that medical test because it takes forever.
Right.
And what if I'm too old or I'm too sick? Then that's when I tell them, hey, there's a product called final expense where you only buy enough coverage to cover for your funeral costs in the future. Now, depends on how you want to plan for your funeral service. It's gonna determine how much in coverage as you can buy.
Okay.
But for final expense, in general terms, they let you buy in a minimum of I think $5,000 to the
Okay.
maximum of $40,000. Because if you think about it, you don't need that more than that to pay for your funeral service unless you plan on going to something super nice or fancy. But that in America, I think the average cost for funeral for like a nice decent service is around 20K.
Okay. Yeah, so 20,000. So Frank is saying here, everybody, that final expense life insurance is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's really just to cover for your funeral expenses. And usually an average funeral nowadays, like Frank said, like a nice service would be around $20,000. So this life insurance is not meant to buy like that big giant policy
Yes.
where it's going to cover you a bunch of money. This is just like a very small policy, like Frank said, from $5 to $40, $50,000, just enough to cover for your funeral expenses. Now, my dad has been in the funeral industry for almost 30 years now, and a cremation could cost you like $6,000, right?
Okay.
Buying like a lot of land, I don't know what it is now, but I remember before like a small lot could be like $10,000, $15,000.
Yes.
Right. And then when we did our grandparents' funeral, before the funeral service, just the service itself only, not buying the casket, not buying the flowers, not putting it into the ground or cremating it, but just the service alone is another $10,000, $13,000. So when you add everything together, it could get to around, like you said, about $20,000. And so having something like this could really help a lot,
Yes.
right? How fast do these things usually pay out, Frank?
Oh, it depends, but in my experience, approved less than 24 hours.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes less than half a day. Depends on the medical records.
Wow, that's pretty fast. So you're saying that if I submit an application with you today, that up to 48 hours I can get approved?
Yes, there's a chance that you might have life insurance effective immediately tomorrow or in the next 48 hours.
Okay, so how do we pay for something like this? Like, what are the options?
So there are two options when you want to pay for life insurance final expense. One is that you pay for life. It means that as long as you live and you do your obligations, which is make the monthly payments, then you're guaranteed to have that final expense policy until you pass away. And then the second option is that you can pay only in 10 years, and then after 10 years you stop paying, but you still keep that policy until you pass away.
Okay. What if, like, say, if I'm not like that healthy,
Okay.
will they still sell it to me, or is it just going to be decline?
That's a good question. Generally, if you're sick or if you're old, and if you try to apply for like a regular life insurance, like a term or something else, and you get declined because of your age or health, then most likely you can try to go for the final expense, because there are more chances of you getting approved, even if you're sick or old.
Okay. So you're saying that even, like, say if you got declined on a regular life insurance, it could be that you may be able to qualify
Yes.
for the final expense because their underwriting guidelines are easier than the
Yes.
regular one.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, well, very good. What other benefits do people can get when they're getting into these final expense life insurance?
So there's a really good benefit that I know of. There's some companies out there that right now are offering to write up a free will if you buy life insurance, the
Wow.
final expense with them. Because as you know, if you go out there and you hire an attorney or a lawyer to write up like a will, I think in general the cost right now is about $500 to $1,000 per will.
That's
But
expensive.
yeah.
Right? That's a lot of money.
But if you buy the final expense life insurance, you're guaranteed to have not only just the life insurance, but 1 year later you can have the option to write up a free will as well. So it's gonna save you a lot of money, and at the same time you have life insurance to protect for your funeral cost in the future.
Very nice. So you hear that, everybody? Not only do you have life insurance that will pay out very quickly, because traditionally life insurance is that when you pass away, you have to go through the funeral process, pay for all those expenses up front, right, out of your own money, your own pocket, and then when you get the death certificate, then that's when you bring it to the life insurance company, and the life insurance company will process the paperwork and then pay it out.
Yes.
Now, there are companies out there that will pay out the final expense within 48 hours so that you can pay for your funeral expenses without coming out of pocket for that,
Yes.
right? So that's very, very good. And at the same time, too, Frank was mentioning that some companies out there are also offering a free will, right? A will, what is a will? Just really quick, a will is just like some instructions, legal instructions, that when you pass away, where do all your assets go, or who do they go to, right? So that way, when you go to court, it speeds things up with the probate process, so that you don't have to be held up in court. And sometimes when you have no documentation, probate could take up to a year or more, right?
Yes.
And you don't want to wait a year or more to get your money, so that way you can clear all of those loose ends when your family passes away. So having that is very, very useful.
Yes. Correct.
Right? So a free will, quick payouts, no medicals, low
approval.
costs, right?
Yes.
So I think we pretty much know what this is all about.
Yes.
Frank, can we give me some like quick numbers on for
Yes,
some people,
of
so that
course.
way they can kind of get an idea of how much this thing costs?
So, well, just last week I had 2 clients that are around the age of 50 to 60, and based on that, they did a life insurance. I would say for $10,000, for example, you're looking at maybe around from $30 to $40 a month.
Wow, that's
So
not
it's
bad.
not a lot. And if
Okay.
you go up to $20,000, I think right now is about from $50 to $60 a month. But again, it depends on your gender as well, because
Mhm.
male is typically more expensive than female.
Sure.
But it's not a lot. It's just, I think it's $5 or $10 more.
Okay. So as you can see, everybody, this is just like a cup of coffee a day, right? $3 a day can get you covered, right? Or even less.
Yes.
$2 a day,
Yes,
right? One
$2
to
a
three,
day.
$1 to $3 a day can get you covered, to have that peace of mind, knowing that if something happened to you, that you would have this small amount of money that would take care of your funeral, and your family doesn't have to stress and worry about it, right?
Yes.
The last thing everybody wants to be worried about when a loved one passes away is thinking about money, right?
Correct.
Right now you're trying to celebrate that person's life, you're trying to remember them for what they are. You don't want to be on the lingering back end, or even during the process, that you have to worry about finances, right?
Correct.
So get this taken care of. Life insurance, no medical, final expense, Lots of benefits, super cheap, super easy to get. You guys got to get it.
Yes.
Okay, so tune in with us next time. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. We're going to do these series both in English and Vietnamese. It's going to keep it short for you guys. So thanks for joining us. This is Jonathan Tran.
And this is Frank. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching Paramic Financial. Good job, Frank. Good balance.
I forgot the super quick payout, less than 48 hours.
But it's fine, right?
Yep.
So we